Back around April or May, one of my friends got a girlfriend who loves Billie Eilish. She is hugely into her music, and she's been following the girl for about a few years now, 2017, 2016, around the time when Billie Eilish first came out. And she urged me and a couple of other people to listen to Eilish's first full length album, When We Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go? And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. For those of you who just stumbled upon this video because you wanted to see some video defending Billie Eilish, or maybe even find a video to hate on defending Billie Eilish, anyway, I primarily listen to rock and metal. Those are the two genres that I love the most and listen to almost exclusively. So I was like, you know what? Let me make a let me make a very rare exception here and step out of my comfort zone and listen to a pop album. So I did, and I didn't exactly go into this with the freshest mind because I already heard about all the hate that Billie Eilish gets. Oh, her music is so overrated. She's so terrible. She can't sing. Yada yada yada. I'm sure you're already familiar with the usual complaints regarding Billie Eilish. So I went into the album with all this in mind, and I expected something really bad. But in the end, when I finished the album, I was actually pleasantly surprised. Now, I'm not going to go into every single song and analyze them and go into every single little detail as to why I enjoyed this album. I'm not a music reviewer or any kind of reviewer, or any reviewer of any kind. I've never branded myself as that, but I'm just a loudmouth with an opinion. But I was honestly expecting something much worse. Is it the best thing I've ever listened to? Far from it. And I don't exactly go out of my way to listen to a Billie Eilish song all too often, but once in a blue moon, maybe the radio station is playing it in the car, or maybe it's playing in a store, and I'm not like, oh my god, Billie Eilish is playing, ugh, turn that shit off. I don't want to fucking listen to this. I'll actually gladly listen to the song and jam to it, maybe. As overplayed as Bad Guy might be, it's a catchy song. And not catchy in the sense that it's annoying and I can't get it out of my head no matter how much I want it to get out of my head, at least for me. But whenever the song is played, or whenever I actually willingly listen to the song, which is once in a blue moon, I don't mind listening to it. I actually enjoy it. I like it. And same goes to the rest of the songs on the album. They're not bad. I'm not going to say they're amazing or anything. Some of them are better than others, sure. But it's not terrible like so many people like to claim it is, and I feel a lot of people exaggerate their opinion on Billie Eilish by a huge margin. Now, I'm not saying it's bad necessarily to not like her music. Fine, whatever. Music is subjective. You can choose to like and not like whatever you wish, but have you ever given her music a fair shot? This goes to the people who just cannot stand her, hate her music so much with a burning passion. Have you ever given her music a fair shot? Have you ever listened to her first full length album in full? Ever? Or are you just basing it off of some annoying, or some songs that you might find annoying that are played on the radio a lot? Because I was kind of sort of in the same boat as all of you prior to listening to her first album for the first time. Now, I didn't hate her music with a burning passion, but I was like, oh, it's that girl who made that Bad Guy song that's played all the time on the radio. Blah, I'm not really looking forward to listening to this all too much, but when I heard the song in the context of the whole album, with all the other songs in the album included, and I listened to the song the way it was probably intended to be listened to, I ended up enjoying the song more and had more appreciation for the quote unquote annoying singles that are played on the radio all the time to ad nauseum. Uh, I'm not saying you're gonna have exactly the same experience, but I'm just saying at the very least, give her music a fair shot if you haven't already. Don't just base it off some singles that you don't like that are played a lot. Because that's just an unfair as fuck way to write off an album that you haven't even listened to. And I myself am guilty of this. There are plenty of artists that I've proclaimed to be shit, and I never actually given a fair shot. Now, pretty much all the artists that I've ranted on this channel, I have given a fair shot, so I can accurately explain why I don't like them in video form. So, yeah, I'm not saying I haven't listened to any Kiss albums or any Imagine Dragons albums, because I have, and they were painful experiences, trust me, but there are plenty of artists out there that I haven't spoken about in video form that I've just listened to some singles that I don't like and I found them to be shitty and annoying. And listening to Billie Eilish's first album and actually ending up really enjoying it, even though I didn't really look forward to listening to it prior to listening to it, and I had to be coerced into listening to it too. It's kind of a learning experience for me. Actually, it taught me to actually try out some artists that I don't necessarily like. Now, will I still not like certain artists after listening to them, like some of the hard fucking mumble rappers out there, if I actually do try out a mumble rap album? Uh, maybe I still will hate the artist, but maybe, just maybe, I'll pleasantly surprise myself and actually end up really enjoying some of these artists that I've hated for the longest time. And to say the girl is completely devoid of any talent whatsoever is just so preposterous. She writes her own songs. Granted, yes, she collaborates with her brother when writing her songs. Sure, you got me there, but she still co-writes it at the very least. And it's not like she's some concoction from some music producer, some just music industry prop. People write her songs for her, make the beats for her, all of that, and they're just like, okay, sing this, and we'll auto-tune your voice too, in case your voice isn't exactly up to snuff. Sing this, and we'll make you a multi-millionaire. We'll make you sell albums like fucking crazy. No, she's actually authentic, and actually kind of a breath of fresh air in regards to a lot of these young girls who are joining the music industry. She's only 18 years old. She just turned 18 not even a month ago at the time of recording this, and there are so many girls her age who are just like this. So many people her age, I should say, that are just like this, and not only girls who are, of course, victims of this. She's certainly different from a lot of her contemporaries, and I do respect that. Can she be a little pretentious? Sure. I mentioned this earlier in the video that there's a little air of pretentiousness surrounding her. I think she's a little too edgy. She plays it up a little bit too much, and that's a common complaint I see from a lot of people, and I can kind of sort of get behind that. But at the same time, she just turned 18. She still has plenty of more years to grow and mature. I'm sure she'll drop the edgy persona relatively quickly in life, probably within the next few years, or maybe even a year from now, who knows? That'll all be gone and she'll be, herself. But for now, let's not knock her too much for that, okay? She's only 18. She's not fully mature yet. And if she's 28 and still doing this shit, sure, fine, criticize her all you want for that. But for now, can we just excuse that for a little bit? She's still pretty much a teenager. And I know some people do question her authenticity. She's a Cali girl, more specifically a Los Angeles girl. She grew up in a pretty prestige area. Her mother is a musician and a screenwriter. Her father is an actor. And yes, sure, maybe this did have some play into her rise to stardom, sure, but you know what? It doesn't make me enjoy her music even less. For me, it doesn't erase any of the talent that her and her brother have. I mean, just because she grew up a privileged white girl in Cali doesn't mean she has to be devoid of any talent whatsoever, and any talent she may have is invalidated and negated because she grew up in that lifestyle. Yeah, okay, is it all the more reason to drop the edgy "I'm not like the other girls" persona? Yes, and sure, definitely, but again, this doesn't hinder her music at all. It's more just criticisms of her herself and not her music, and I don't see that as a valid reason to not like her music because I still find her music legitimately enjoyable. I like the topics that her music discusses. Her music can speak to people. It can tell them, hey, you're not alone in feeling this way. And if anyone finds comfort listening to Billie Eilish music if they're going through a very rough time, let them. What is so bad about that? Her fan base gets a really bad rap, and maybe this is for good reason. I'm not doubting at all that there are some toxic people in her fan base, but the stereotype that her fan base is just a bunch of 13-year old edgy girls. It's just so stupid, honestly. It's so dumb to just write off an entire fan base as just that. I've watched some Billie Eilish sucks videos, and yes, quite a few of them are troll videos. I tried my hardest to just focus on the serious videos made by people who legitimately don't like her music. And I go into the comments, and yeah, sure, some of them are just fanboys and fangirls calling the person an idiot, saying Billie Eilish is the greatest thing ever, and they're not allowed to hold their opinion. Sure, yeah, of course, they're gonna run into some dumbasses like that. There are dumbasses like that in pretty much every fan base you can imagine. But there were some in one video in particular. There was one comment that just said, "I like Billie Eilish's music." And then there are so many people in the comments section just making stupid assumption after stupid assumption. Some people are saying they're faking their depression, they're an edgy teen girl, they're stupid, all of this shit. just making all of these stupid assumptions just based off one simple comment. I enjoy her music. And the video itself wasn't all too much better either. The person actually legitimately said Billie Eilish instead of some other rapper who apparently died from a seizure. I've heard of this, but the name escapes me. Instead of that rapper who died of a seizure, it should have been Billie Eilish. And I'm like, what the fuck, dude? What did this girl ever do to you aside from make music that you don't like? Fine, hate her music all you want, but to wish death on the girl for making music you don't like? Fuck you, dude. You're a piece of shit. And I've heard endlessly from my boomer uncle. He's not actually a boomer. He was born just a few years shy of being a boomer, but he may as well be one because of his boomer takes on music. He rails against Billie Eilish a lot, especially after her saying she doesn't know who Van Halen is. Yeah, how dare she? She's only 18 years old. She's not even in the rock genre. And he said, "Oh, this takes away all of her credibility as a musician." Like, she's making pop music and she's only 18 years old. Van Halen was at their peak back in what, the 80s? I'm sure if you ask a lot of Billie Eilish fans who Van Halen is, they're gonna say, who is that? I never heard of that. So exactly what credibility does this take away from her exactly? I'm sure if you played Jump or Panama for her, she would be like, "Oh yeah, I heard that song." So I don't see why the fuck anyone is making a big deal over this. And the Van Halen bassist said, "Oh, it's okay that she doesn't know her music, doesn't know our music, I should say. Don't rail against people for simply not either enjoying or not hearing any of the music that you enjoy, because that is just a stupid thing to freak out over." And I agree 110%. I so wish I made a rant on this back when this all happened, because I do have a lot to say about this, but I'm not gonna go into all of that because this isn't a video about that. But what this video is about is, yes, I enjoy Billie Eilish's music. Am I necessarily a fan? No. Do I think her music is the greatest thing ever? No. But I, at the very least, don't mind her music and wouldn't mind playing a song or even her whole album, because I actually do kind of sort of dig her music. And if you have such a huge problem with that, why the fuck should I care? Okay, hate her music all you want, think she's the worst thing ever all you want, but that doesn't make what you're saying all the less stupid. Again, don't take this as me saying that you're not allowed to not enjoy her music. That is not what I'm saying at all, but again, saying she's like the worst thing ever and saying her music is just so god awful, so terrible, so devoid of any value whatsoever, I think it's just so preposterous and dumb. Again, you're entitled to your opinion, but I think it's a dumb one. And it's not entirely based in reality. Anyway, I like Billie Eilish. I look forward to any music that she may release in the future, and I wish her a long and prosperous career, because it's only the beginning and she's already found huge, huge success, and major, major props to her for that success that she attained. Anyway, that's all I have to say. Bye-bye.